absolutely. The hair, Kyle, Ryan, whichever one you want to call me at this point, doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, we'll start with you talked about a lot of teams on a bye week. One of the Nacogdoches, they're on a bye week this week, but they're off to their best start under Darby House that they've had since they hired him back in 2023, 4-1 on the season so far. The last two seasons, they haven't gotten over 3 wins, already hit that point, and they're only 5 games into the season. Like I said, on a bye week after taking down Jacksonville in their district opener last Friday, 42-14. And, a big part of that, Micah Lockett, 3 touchdowns in the first half, their freshman quarterback that we've talked about a little bit, MC, on the Red Zone Overtime, how he's looked really good throughout these first 5 games of the season. But, with these guys being on the bye week, still a lot of things to work on, and that's something that Coach House spoke with me earlier this week, just on this bye week as a whole.
Well, with Coach House, I know you got that interview. Let me go ahead and pull myself up here. I know you got the interview with him, Ryan. What was kind of the basis of what y'all talked about this week versus like last week's game? Kind of coming off of either the win, the loss, what they needed to work on at practice. What's kind of going into their mindset this week?
Yeah, it's just working on the little things, right? You've already entered district play at this point, and you're off to that 1-0 start, like I said, against Jacksonville, who right now is sitting at, I believe, 0-5 on the season with their new head coach. And it's just working on the little things, kind of fine-tuning things. Now that non-district play is over, so many of these coaches, I know we've talked about it, but so many of these coaches refer to it as the preseason in non-district. And then when you get into district play, it's the season, because that's what really matters in making the playoffs is how you do in district play. It doesn't necessarily matter on the actual record scorecard, what you do in non-district. It matters what you do. I almost dropped my water bottle. Sorry. It matters what you do in district play. And right now, there's still some things to work on as they get deeper and deeper into district play. They go to Hallsville next week. Like I said, still on a bye this week, but really just working on those little things, offensive line, defensive line, just all around, just fine-tuning things heading into the back half of the season.
Well, let's go ahead and dive into your interview with Coach Darby House.
It helps when you bring back, 20 or 22 starters. And so, a big thing is this time last year we were 3-2. We beat Jacksonville, and then we had 4 starters that ended up going to DAP for, selfish decisions. And so that kind of changed the course of our season last year. So, I just had a conversation with our kids about, even though it's the bye week, don't do anything stupid. Make sure you're not doing anything to hurt the team. And so, but where we're at now is where we kind of expected us to be, where we wanted to be. We'd love to be 5-0, but 4-1's was our goal, and now we're taking it one game at a time. We're already kind of prepping for Hallsville and getting ready for them, and then we'll see one at a time.
One at a time.
Well, I like that he told his kids don't do anything stupid, because see, that's the biggest fear for coaches when you don't have the kids during a bye week, is they're going to do a knucklehead thing like be a high school kid, right? And so then you got to explain, and if you're a really, really good athlete, they'll find a way to get it out for you. They're going to hook you up. But you might just stick with the coach's house, but they're going to get you hooked up. But there's also a case of, and I've talked to a coach as well, that in their bye week, it's also relearning or going over some things they did back in August. Because those techniques, whatever it is, maybe they were just sloppy enough to be able to win, but hey, we're going to get back to our techniques and we can spend more time with you on that. When you think about Nacogdoches and what they've done to this point, he said, hey, we'd like to be 5-0, we're 4-1. This is a good team, is it not?
I mean, yeah, no, they've looked like a really good team so far. Like you said at the very start of that soundbite, you're returning 20 starters. You got 22 guys on the field, offense and defense. You're bringing back 20 of them. So you're going to have a lot of that continuity that just they haven't had for the past couple of seasons, the first and second season that Coach House has had with NAC. Now you got 20 of your starters coming back, and it's shown. They've gotten better and better throughout, the year so far. Had a, little bit of a rough start against Palestine in week 1 in that first half of that game, but you're also, breaking in a new quarterback. By the way, learned this, their freshman quarterback, Jalen Garrett, he was not the original starter. They had another kid that was expected to start, and then he ends up getting hurt before that week 1 game, and they toss Garrett in, and he looks fantastic. The other quarterback still not, back from injury. He did talk about that a little bit, how the injuries have, you're 5 weeks into the season, you're going to get dinged up and bruised up and things like that. But yeah, he wasn't even the original starter to begin with, and he's looked really good so far. But yeah, 20 starters coming back is definitely going to be a big benefit, especially heading into the back half of the season. It's crazy to think that we're already halfway through the regular season here in just across the state.
And I think Ryan I got it right. It also speaks.
The hair.
It also speaks to their depth factor for a school that's small, but still they have depth. And you just mentioned the young man that's been playing lights out because somebody else is hurt. That's what you have to rely upon. And of course, the bye week allows that young man, if he's still banged up, to get healed, and you can be healthy when you come into and off of the bye week. So fireworks would definitely happen for that.
But also with
Yeah,
injuries.
no, absolutely.
With injuries, kind of keep in mind, Michael, some people get their chance whenever it's their chance to
Right,
shine.
they do. He might not get that.
This young man who came in had his opportunity. He could be a starter for the rest of the season. You never know.
You ever heard the Wally Pipp story?
No, I have.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I have.
It's definitely relevant. Okay, Ryan.